In this video I'm going to show you a very popular technique. It's called the Bokeh Technique. Really easy with stunning results. So I'm going to be using 3 different colors to create a background. I'm using elegant eggplant, rich raspberry, and melon mambo. To start, I'm going to use my melon mambo. And I'm just going to take a sponge. These are sponges that I've already been using in ink, and I just cut them up into little triangles. Dab it in my ink, and I'm just going to go into little circles, just randomly all over my Whisper White cardstock. I'm not covering in all of the white because I have other colors I'm going to put on this. Now I'm going to go in with my rich raspberry. And you just keep adding color until you're happy with your background. This technique works well with a light or a dark background. You don't want it too light, mind you, but you could do it a little bit softer if you like, or as bold as you like. Now my elegant eggplant. Oops, that's a little bit dark. That's okay. Alright, we're going to set this aside. I have another piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm using 3 circle punches. I'm using my 1 3/8, my 1 1/4, and my 1 inch. You can use any size of punch that you like, and I'm just going to punching out a few random circles. You don't need a whole lot because this is just a stencil that you're creating. I'm actually going to use my 3/4 inch as well. Okay, so there's my stencil. You want to make sure that your background piece of cardstock is dry. If you're using our classic ink, it's a water-based ink, so it will dry pretty much immediately. Okay, the star of the show for this technique is the Craft Whisper White pigment ink. So this is a wetter ink. It'll take longer to dry. I'm going to set that aside right there. So now we're going to put our stencil onto our cardstock, and then you can use Stampin' Daubers or you could use sponge again. I'm just using what I have, and I'm just dabbing into my ink, and I'm just going to tap onto those circles and then just kind of color it in. You want to make sure that there's no ink on your sponge when you go back into your white. You don't want to contaminate that with the ink that's on your paper. And just fill in those circles. Oops. Okay, so that's what I have so far. And I'm going to overlap some of these circles too. So this little bit of white ink that got here is totally fine because we will just add a circle right there. Okay. And we'll add some more. And just keep adding those little white circles until you're happy with the look. See how it's coming along? And I'm not going to go back into my ink here because I want some of the circles to be a little bit lighter than the original ones. You see? Very cool background, and by having some of the circles darker than the other, really adds that dimension. So there's my bouquet background. And once you've done this, because it's a pigment ink and it is wet, you need to set this aside and let it dry. If you have a heat gun, you can zap it with that and heat it that way. But I'm just going to set that aside to dry, and we'll finish the card in just a second. Alright, I'm going to take this strip of Whisper White for the sentiment, and I have cut it at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. I'm using the Choose Happiness stamp set. I'm using the expression, when I need a friend, you're there. Just going to ink it up with my black StazOn. Okay, so I'm using the basic black for my card base, which is measured at 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And I'm just going to use my glue stick to glue this on the front. Okay. So now I'm just gluing on my sentiment. Okay, and I want to put some flowers on this corner over here. So to do that, I'm using my 1 1/4 scallop circle punch. And I'm going to pull some cardstock that is the same colors that I use for my background. So I'm just going to simply punch out one scallop circle from each color. Next, I'm taking my bird builder punch because I want to punch out some of these leaves, and I'm using some garden green cardstock for that. Just going to punch out 3. Right. I'm just going to glue these on. So there's my leaves on there. Now for the flowers, these are really easy. I may have shown these before in another video quite a while back, but they're really fun, fast flowers when you need a quick embellishment. All I'm going to do, you can use water, you can use your Stampin' Mist. I'm just going to mist this on both the front and the back until it's pliable. So a couple mists on each side is all you need, and then you just simply crumple it up. Crazy as that may seem, it actually will make the prettiest little flowers, and you can play with it until you get it to the shape that you like. And it seriously looks like it's paper you've chewed on and spit out, believe it or not, but it does make fun flowers when you need a little something something. And you can use any size scallop punch depending on the size of flowers you want to make. And these will dry rock hard and hold their shape as well. fastest flowers you'll ever create. Okay, I'm using my liquid glue and I'm just going to squeeze some out. So I'm going to start with my rich raspberry. I'm going to stick that right down there. And then my elegant eggplant flower can go down here. And then my melon mambo, which is going to need more glue. I'm just going to go tuck it right in there. Because they're not totally dry yet, I'm actually going to pick up some of my rhinestones and then just tuck them in and push them down. I'm just using a pin to push them down. So there is the bouquet technique. Really fast, easy technique. You can do a lot with it. I have made some other cards. This is a Christmas card that I made, just using blues. This is another card I made using all the yellows, just something fun and sunshiny. And then lastly, same layout as the card I just demonstrated, but using different colors, and then the flowers on this side. So for close-up photos and more details and all the supplies used, you can go to my blog at www.serenestamper.com and you can see all these cards there. So thank you for watching. Give that a try. You're going to love it. Happy stamping!